here today with Tommy Benedetti, good friend of mine. Done a lot of work with Tommy over the years with a lot of different projects. Most notably, Dove Apocalypse, his band Dove Apocalypse, legendary local band. Organically Good Trio, and also a lot of cool stuff that's not that you know, it's a little more session work.
Yeah,
which is really great. And Tommy's been such a great guy to work with, and an inspiration in the fact that he plays so many styles so well. Such a good session player, such a good player on tons of different kinds of material. So I was just going to ask Tommy today, give me a little brief overview of your career and your history and how you got here. I know a little bit of it, but I probably don't know as much as I think. How you got you're from upstate, right? Like Ithaca?
No. Well, yes and no. Upstate, I'm from Albany, so I think, yeah, that's upstate. I'm from Albany, New York, originally. Moved here in 91 to go to Berkeley, which I did for a couple years, finished that, and then directly out of Berkeley, I joined this band called The Tribulations. Those cats were based in Ithaca. And I went on the road I did move to Ithaca for like a short time, like a year and change or something, when I was playing with Tribs. We did some touring in the States, and then that band broke up. I moved immediately back to Boston, and then I've been here ever since. And out of that breakup of Tribs, JBB, John Brown's Body, ended up forming in around 96, something like that. So that's the beginning of my, I've been in Boston more than half of my life at this point now, so.
Right, so have I, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I think of myself as being from a certain place, but I've been here longer than I was ever there.
Well, you can't hide that accent, so
right.
We know where you're from, man.
It's hard, it's baked in, man.
But yeah, talking about the session stuff, I love working here. I love working with you. I was thinking about it before I came here. I was like, man, of course, OGT and Dub, full-length records, and then a lot of those sessions with Mariah,
yep.
Like some rock stuff, some singer-songwriter stuff. So this is my go-to spot. I love playing music here and working with you. So yeah, it's great to be back here.
Well, you're an amazing drummer, to say the least, but you're metronomic in your drumming, which is, there are not that many drummers. In fact, I could maybe think of 2 or 3 like you that you just are so solid on a grid, on a click, which when you're doing things like the Mariah track, her track is sort of like a heavy rock kind of thing. She's playing in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra right now, too. That track was going to get cut up into all kinds of, sections and pieces and loops and all that stuff, and having a drum track that's tight like that from the producer side is just hugely valuable. And not every drummer can do that for sure, and it's not really in everybody's bag or style, and that's one of the things that's so great about you, is that you have that, but then you also have a ton of style with your playing, which so you sort of have both sides. Some drummers I feel like they're great on the feel side, maybe not, time isn't their thing, and then there's some drummers that are robotic on the time side and maybe the feel thing, and you have both, which is
nice, man.
Which is amazing.
That's great. Who
are some of your favorite inspirations, drummer wise, musician wise, people you've looked up to over the years?
Well, I mean, I was raised on, rock music. The sole reason I started playing drums was Alex Van Halen. I mean, hands down. In 1981, I saw those live. MTV was just coming out. I saw all those live videos from the Fair Warning record, Unchained, So This Is Love, and Alex with the 4 bass drums and the gong, and I was like, that's it, So I started taking lessons when I was like 11 because of Alex Van Halen. When I was growing up, you could hear the greats were Neil Peart, Alex Van Halen, Jeff Porcaro, Stan Lynch from Tom Petty's Heartbreakers. These are the guys, Stuart Copeland. These are the guys that I would hear on a daily basis, and that's in my DNA, is stuff like that. Drummers that really played songs and music, and I was never a solo guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Tony Williams, I love Elvin, I love all those soloist guys that can play solo stuff, but the stuff that really always got me going was Phil Rudd from AC/DC, Steve Jordan, Manu Katché, Matt Chamberlain, guys that you're not going to necessarily hear playing solos at all, or maybe not much. So I was always a song guy, So that's the stuff I grew up on. I didn't get into reggae until like really after Berkeley. During Berkeley, I went to Berkeley kind of with a clean slate, so I could take in all the stuff I knew was going to get thrown at me. That's when I got turned on to Tony, Elvin, DeJohnette, Joni Mitchell, and Jaco Pastorius, all those records. And then after that, I got the Tribs gig, and then I was immediately into reggae. And I've been playing reggae for 30 years at this point. It's become kind of my thing. I love that music, dub music, really deep reggae, the militant stuff, the Sly and Robbie stuff, the Style Scott, the Roots Radics stuff, Mikey Boo Richards. These are my guys, because like you said, it is that metronomic time, but there is such a swing to it, and there's such a vibe to it, and it just moves, and it's very musical, and it's simple, it's deceivingly simple sounding stuff, And same with AC/DC. I mean, you hear Phil Rudd, his hi-hat hand, he's gliding across that hi-hat. He's not up there just bashing. There is finesse in there, and that's what I love about drums. The little hidden things, the subtleties, and
totally. Yeah, I mean the hi-hat is such a huge part of your playing and such a huge part of reggae playing. Most of the reggae grooves.
It's its own art form for sure.
And I think that's like they always talked about Charlie Watts that way too. Like he had a thing where he would slide the stick off his hi-hat and the way he would, and it just those little things make a style.
That's 100%. There's only one Charlie Watts. There's nobody can play. I don't care how good of a drummer you are. Nobody can sound like Charlie. That's the beauty of music and musicianships, and everybody's got their own voice and their own inner DNA that makes them sound like they sound.
Totally. What's the coolest gig you've ever played?
Oh, I saw Paul's response to this, and incredibly enough, my answer is going to be exactly the same.
I thought it might be.
Red Rocks in Colorado. I mean, it's hard to... I've played all around the planet many times and played in some great, amazing spots, New Zealand and Europe and Hawaii and the Caribbean and Alaska and all these amazing spots, beautiful spots, but there's only one Red Rocks. I mean, it's just... I've played there twice. I haven't played there a million times like Paulie has, but I've played there twice. And, man, it's just like... there's 10,000 people there, but you feel like you're playing to like 100 people. It's in the sound with the sides going up like this, just the sound of the instruments and your drums. It's really like nothing else. I mean, I don't know if you could play a bad show there. We had a couple fantastic shows there. One was much earlier in JBB's career. One was more recent. The more recent one was very memorable and killer. We were on Reggae on the Rocks with, some like Mighty Diamonds and Wailing Souls and Third World. It was pretty great, But yeah, playing Red Rocks, just there's 100 magical things about it that happen when you're playing there. So yeah, that's got to be it. I mean, you got to agree with my brother Paul, man.
Well, listen, man, thanks for stopping by and giving me a little bit of your time.
Thank you,
always
Will.
Great to see you. Looking forward to so many more things we can do together.
Of course, brother. Thank you, man.